You like the Fortuner?
Actually, I am impressed with it, of what they've done to it. I still don't like the final product.
I see.
Yeah, but
Too many stickers.
They took out a lot of the harshness.
They took out a lot, which is really impressive because the previous Fortuner had an unfortunate incident of getting the unfortunate.
Feels like a Hilux.
It feels like a Hilux with more seats.
I see.
Yeah, but the current Fortuner was very well done. I mean, technically speaking, I was impressed with the leap that they've done forward, but it's still a freaking Stone X lah, that thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah. But the FJ and the Land Cruiser, they also ladder, but then they are not so harsh.
The FJ is not a Stone X, you know. You get what I mean?
But it's built on the Stone X structure.
It's built with reliability and toughness in mind, but it doesn't wheel like a Stone X. You go. I mean, I suppose you can call it a very high tech, or not even high tech, a very modern X,
an electronic X.
Something that you get from, like, you know, that
40K.
No, that was too futuristic and too dark. More like something you get from the fire extinguisher. The X, the FJ is that simple, reliable, modern.
I see.
Right. The Fortuner is still a little bit of a Stone X, and the problem I have with the current Fortuner is that it tries not to look like a Stone X, which is an issue.
It looks very futuristic.
Too futuristic.
But still got stickers.
But Fortuner has a lot of fans, you know.
I know, especially in Thailand, right?
Die-hard Toyota fans.
I know.
People
It's like everybody who had the Prados from the 90s, you know,
has moved on to
Fortuners.
Because the Prado is just way too expensive.
Yeah.
And it has presence.
They got conned by the Koreans. They bought Rexton.
With Mercedes engine 2.7 CDI.
Resale value also high.
Resale value also. Wait, but no, the petrol Fortuner in Malaysia actually depreciate quite bad. Because it has a 2.7.
What happens to the engine after?
It's not that it has a problem. It's just fuel consumption is horrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah.
So they prefer the other version.
They prefer the diesel. The diesels are so expensive, man.
That's the problem with Malaysia, right? When something people want, right? Everybody wants it, and then it becomes like double the price.
Yeah, it's completely nuts, man. I've been religiously following the reviews of Palisade versus the Telluride.
Different car.
It's different.
How different?
The ride is different. The ride quality. It says that they say that the Hyundai will be at home with a 20-inch bling wheel, whereas the Telluride is more happy-go-lucky, family-friendly.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting, Kia.
Yeah.
It's quite a good work, no?
But Hyundai Palisade looks epic, isn't it?
Both of them look nice.
Both of them look nice. It's a matter of personal preference. I'm sliding towards the Palisade a bit. Maybe it's the inner rapper in me.
Price-wise, same?
No, Palisade is a bit more expensive.
Series, the 2013 7 Series, you can buy it for like what, 70k now?
Yeah, there you go.
It started at
70k of repairs to first.
Started at 700k. Right?
There you go. It lost basically everything. You lost more than 90% of the value.
Correct, maintenance super high lah.
Maintenance is also another issue. They are unnecessarily complicated. Yeah, to reach that level of complication, after you own a car for a while, you realize that most of the gimmick doesn't impress you. Ultimately, you gotta live with it. And then, you know, do you want sensor telling you all sorts of sensor going haywire
in the rain?
Whatever lah.
You need a certain attitude, man. If you want to drive those cars.
You pretend it doesn't exist. Zen. Well, why don't I zen in a way that it really doesn't become a problem? It's even more zen, right?
Pre-zen.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I mean, does it cost you so much more to build a car that is well screwed together?
I think a lot of Japanese car companies, they've reverted to being run by accountants.
This is systemic of Nissan. You can see a lot of their lower end product. Like, it is as if the designer haven't even graduated design school.
But it's probably like a 40-year-old, 50-year-old guy
who couldn't give a damn.
Who just took the template from 20 years ago and then, like, you know.
It could be. I said, okay, I can't change this panel, this two part, I can't change. Whatever lah.
Circle in the center.
Circle in the center. That's
how you came up with the Nissan Juke.
And Nissan Juke is trying too hard.
It's a circle in the center.
No, even Almera is a circle in the center, bro.
Really?
Yeah. 60 over 1,000 ringgit car was a circle in the center.
It's the cheapest entry-level B segment jab.
I know. Oh, now I want that. You see, can you believe Proton is now desirable? You were at the Proton just now, right?
No, my boss was.
Oh, your boss was. Change of
The
logo and
the tagline.
tagline.
It's connecting people.
They were saying what?
Empowering
I was reading it and I think they were genuine about it. They say that, they're saying that we delayed in changing the logo because
No budget.
because it's about fixing the product.
Wow.
Wow, I see.
Also realized
The Chinese
that
CEO.
No. They
Whatever it is, also realized that their head of marketing is from BMW now. So whatever you think is genuine, this guy is an expert.
As spinning stories.
It's spinning stories. So if he can sell you a BMW, he can sell you a Proton.
Fool me once.
And now he wants to sell you an X70 and you already.
Yeah, you're right.
But the product sells itself, or the X70.
Yeah, it does. So
The Chinese version of the X70 looks better than our X70.
They got a facelift already.
They got a facelift. But the X50 is mind-boggling, isn't it? I mean, if it comes over here like that, and if they sell it at 80 over 1,000, I will faint.
They might. The market research say that Malaysians are willing to spend up to 90k on the car.
It'll be around 90.
Of course. I mean, if you sell at 90, it's still steal.
Good, yeah.
I mean, look at the interior, man. It looks like Makan. And better than
And if they
Makan.
sell at 90,
Yeah.
Japan no need to sell cars anymore.
Of course,
Some
man.
people might still stay HRV, more reliable. Honda, your Korean 2001, my friend, my relative, all break down
But
10 times.
You know, the resistance comes from the Chinese. The funny thing is, I read the the comments in Proton. A lot of resistance comes from the Chinese.
But I also seen a lot of Chinese uncles want the car.
Yes.
Very funny, because
Which
usually
is-
they're very
I think
skeptical.
younger Chinese seem to be very
resistance. But here's the thing, how one product can completely change the fate of a company. X70. Everybody universally hated Proton, right not? Except unless one of those crony connected idiot from some kampong somewhere. But now there are so many good things people say about it.
You could say that Proton rediscovered who it is, and who it was from the beginning is find which country is expanding, find a
use
product you can plonk it in and
that hurt on a very deep level.
you fell there.
It works. Very unlikely collaboration.
Look at, it's so unfair to Perodua. Perodua goes step by step, hand in hand with technology partner. Make the mistakes, make the successes themselves. And Proton come in with their big floppy donkey and just say,
but it's
because Proton has a rich daddy.
But to be honest, if it's under Mahathir, it would never have happened.
never been a success.
And you know who won at the end? The people won, because they now can buy an amazing product at a fraction
100K,
of the price. And I can say, if most Malaysians are driving X70, they are driving better cars than many developed countries people are driving.
Thailand.
Even only compare Thailand,
US,
compare
even
with
UK.
US, compare with UK, compare with Australia. X70 delivers more than what you're paying, and for the first time in almost 3 decades,
Since the
Malaysians-
Wira.
since the Wira, since the saga lah, to be honest, this in our face all over the automotive industry. We have never had value in our car until X70.
now.
3 decades, bro.
It's crazy.
2 generations, a whole generation of people suffering under.
In between, you have the Pininfarina, right? The Naza's hatchback, Pininfarina design.
I have nothing good to say about
all
that
those
company.
Gen 2, Savvy, all those.
So it's very hopeful. And here's the thing, Koreans, I have strong bias against them. You know how I hated Korean cars.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Not too long ago, I hated them. But I have come to accept it because of the pure capability of their car. But even that, I have to accept. I think the Chinese, Geely at least, has exceeded that in the shortest period of time imaginable. I've never seen a company recover Proton so fast from a universally hated company, and now
I think it's because the Geely looks at every material and they decide to give you a bit more on everything.
Yeah.
And it fits to our Malaysian demand,
Value,
where
yeah.
everything is against us. Everybody tries to shortchange us. Even the gyoza I had at the sushi place, now it's like shrunken to like 33% smaller. So on a daily basis, I'm always shortchanged, So when Geely comes and everything, and you look and they're giving you a bit extra and a bit worth it on everything, and then I think it caters to us, lah.
it's true. And I can verily say this. 10 years ago, you come and tell me about this company called Geely. I will laugh in your face. And if you seriously try to convince me to buy it, I will kick you in your balls. You know what I mean? And look at how quick things have changed.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
I am so pro Japanese and German cars, and now I'm willing to accept Korean, and then Chinese car has superseded even the Koreans.
The Koreans take the American perspective where the whole package is nice, and then if you don't nitpick, it's enough. So Americans are like that because they have Chevy, they have Ford, and they are all like that. Those product offerings are all like that. But
now you put side by side a product X70 and versus what's the smaller version of this Tucson? I have to say the X70 wins hands down in every aspect.
Every aspect.
And it doesn't drive funny, you know. You know, usually you overcompensate, right? Because you have some weakness.
Like this car.
But the X70 has no actual weakness. It's not bad. Maybe it is a little bit narrow.
A bit tall, a bit narrow.
A bit tall, a bit narrow.
That's not a weakness, that's just a character.
Yeah,
the tallness adds to the presence.
That's just how Chinese cars are made. That is how Chinese cars are. They are a bit taller because the illusion of space is what the Chinese people like. That's why Alphard sells so well. It's not because it's actually bigger, but you feel it's bigger. Everyone
is buying the car, so I think the status will drop sooner.
Of course. But you see, a person who buys an X70 is not worried about status. You know? He doesn't care about it. That's why he buys it.
It's dressed up to look like it's a status car.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
X70.
Therein lies the value. You say, some people think it's status, so I don't mind. But to me, it's not. It's not important.
And to get there, you need to arrive at a certain point in your life, right? To not care what people think.
Yeah, I think some level of maturity and context in life.
But it's you're mixed in with the crowd who doesn't have the maturity. You know?
Of course.
Everybody's buying the car.
Of course.
Yeah. Practically everyone.
Practically everyone.
Until you start to meet your friends who you don't respect, who have X70, then your point of view of the car.
Then you don't want to touch it.
Product-wise, it's really good.
It's really good.
But pricing a car low can also.
But you know in Malaysia, all this while there are always rich uncles who go out there and buy a Wira.
Yes,
After he buy a Wira, he drives a Wajah. After the Wajah break apart, it's a Proton. And then he go and buy. Now he drives a CX-5. You see that? You know, he has money.
Someone you know.
Someone I know. Also, someone I imagine, some uncle. He probably has maybe a couple of mil in cash saving. He still have some streams of income of at least 7, 8 or 10k a month. He's not actually worried about money, and he cannot splurge lah. But then he walk into a showroom. You want him to buy a 300,000 car, he can but he doesn't want to because he asks himself, why the fuck? Who am I trying to impress?
Correct.
You got me? Impress myself, I am not, because I'm buying a headache. Right or not? So he wants a car that is reasonably priced. So he's not going to shortchange himself. He's not going to go out there and buy an Iris because it's too small.
Correct.
So he wants something Camry or Corolla size. Right? But he look at the Camry is like, wow, 200,000 deal leh, I can buy BM. For what I want to buy a Camry? Stupid you think?
Honda is too cheap
some Hondas are too cheap. HRV say, not bad 90 千 Then he sit into an X70 deal lor. Bigger, more powerful. It's like, why not? Right or not?
But the thing about X70, we don't know about the reliability.
We don't know about. It's been around for what, 2 years, 3 years? No, you know what? Look at China for reliability because it's there.
Yeah, but we don't know anything from China.
Can read the Chinese website.
Can read the Chinese website. I'm sure, and if you're selling in China, your volume would
reduce the price of the parts.
Would be bigger than a lot of manufacturers. But how did they get the CBO price so cheap? The government was cutting them some slack.
Yeah, I think so.
I think what they did is they go up to the government and say, government I'm not gonna suck your blood anymore. You don't need to open check for me anymore. But do me this. Reduce my import tax. Thank you very much. Government said, take my money. Probably like that because the government has been paying research grant for Proton for
how many
millions every year, wasn't it? Every budget you have some research grant for Proton for no reason.
So your lecturer gives you an assignment, right? You try very hard, then you ask your daddy for money to go places and do research and stuff, survey, pay people,
before you know,
ask
you're
experts.
35 years old, you're still
and then in the end, you just copy from another Chinese student. In my wife's lab, they bought this equipment from China. One thing broke, they have to buy the whole set. Because they don't sell it by parts.
I hear this problem with the lorries as well. A lot of them buy Chinese lorry, and then the parts become an issue because not only because the supplier of the parts here, but also the fact that the whole thing has to be changed. But the alternative is what, you know? The alternative is what? The alternative is 1970s Mercedes-Benz lorry that's still running. Which is not actually an alternative, you know?
I mean,
It's just an alternative in this country. I mean, when I see nowadays when I see BMW, I don't really find them very attractive.
You got disillusioned.
Oh,
yeah, after you see that for 100k, it's like,
why do I even bother? You know, I have a friend who asked me that day. I said, "Hey, I think I want to sell off my car. I'm deciding between a C class or a 3 Series." I looked at her. No.
Ask him about it.
X70.
What is it?
He doesn't believe me, lah. But I tried to convince him. He's very young. He's younger than me by close to 8 years, 10 years or whatever. So I can see he's very disillusioned with.
He's aspiring into that German thingy.
But I'm telling him, bro, save the 100k, go and buy
He must live through it to be disillusioned. He
maybe.
must take the car must have some problem. He must take it to the mechanic, and then he has to realize something himself.
And then he realized he can't pay for the repair bill, and then he leaves the car there. And then he started questioning it in the middle of the night.
It happens to people I know. They ask me for my opinion. I tell them, like, I give them warning: don't buy this car and stuff. Don't sell your Japanese car.
You tell him, look at me. I own Alfa Romeo. Take it from me. I know the I'm talking about.
No, but they still go and buy it, and then they sold their Japanese car at home.
You're talking about the Volkswagen.
I told him twice. I said two things. Don't buy the Volkswagen. Don't sell your Japanese car at home. He went and bought the Volkswagen and he sold his Nissan. And I'm like, oh, okay.
And the worst part is he aspired to a fucking Polo.
oh my god, what did he sell?
Sentra.
It's just...
I mean, he's a nice guy lah, but he asked me for my opinion. I offer it sincerely and I hope that you listen I hope that you listen to me, you know. So
fella fucked it up lah.
He wants the car lah before he asked
So
me.
he bought it already?
He bought it already.
He suffered.
He has problems with his absorbers. He's got problem with his ABS sensor.
Oh shit.
And then there's other stuff he hasn't told me lah. These are the two things he told me.
Oh, imagine the reality of ownership of a Polo, man.
Yeah, man.